So here's what's happening right now. Chuck Schumer just put everything on the table. He's willing to shut down the entire government unless they strip billions from ICE funding. And get this, more than half of House Democrats are now backing impeachment against Kristi Noem. This isn't your typical political chess game. They're actually saying they won't give ICE or Border Patrol another dime. Let me show you exactly what they said.
Welcome back. Breaking news, Trump and Tom Homeland will be meeting with Jacob Fryer. As if the chaos in Minneapolis enough, Democrats are ready to take it naked. Chuck Schumer is threatening another government shutdown unless Homeland Security, including billions for ICE, is stripped from a funding package. Now more than half of the House Democrats back an impeachment push against DHS Chief Kristi Noem.
ICE needs to be abolished. It cannot be reformed, and Kristi Noem must be impeached.
Are you prepared to vote against DHS funding if it means partially shutting down the government?
Well, I'm not giving ICE Border Patrol another dime.
We have to pull that. That's the lever we have at this moment.
Kristi Noem, frankly, should go.
I can't vote for a bill that includes funding under these circumstances.
We need to impeach Kristi Noem.
We have a bill about funding them, giving more money. I'm not voting for that.
Gotta go.
Dana, I understand. They're pulling the levers they have in front of them. They've already organized $75 million for 4 years. They're not going to, if any, not defunding ICE.
So the Democrats painted themselves into a corner here. One of the things Chuck Schumer needs to be able to show.
Same thing. Abolish ICE. Impeach Noem. Not another dime. You're seeing the party line get hammered home over and over. But here's where it gets interesting. They've already funded ICE through 2029. Yeah, you heard that right. They gave ICE $75 million for the next 4 years. So what's really going on here?
Is that they can get achievables, right? That they could advance the ball down the field, get the first down, and so that they can figure out a way to survive terms, or as he hopes to try to take Bennett. Right now, he has to look at the activist online base. They are saying, shut down the government, no more money. But nobody in the Democratic Party can explain to the activists that you've already funded ICE through 2029. So if you shut down the government on Friday because you don't want to give Department of Homeland Security any more money, well, you can take FEMA money away from people in the middle of a snowstorm if you want, or you could take money away from TSA when people are trying to escape a snowstorm, when we've got 22,000 canceled flights today. You could try, and they might be just crazy enough.
Jesse, it's almost like Tim Walz, the leader of the Democrat Party right now, because the deal he makes with Trump might decide how.
The Democrats have a problem. Their activist base is screaming to shut down the government, but nobody bothered to tell those activists that ICE is already funded for 4 more years. So if they shut down the government on Friday, they're not actually defunding ICE. They're taking money from FEMA during a snowstorm. They're pulling funding from TSA when 22,000 flights just got cancelled. Think about what that actually means for regular people.
They handle this in Congress.
I mean, and he's the most Democrat they have. And he's in front. I would just pull him back. He's already leaving. You're going to get a new person in there, and they'll probably cooperate and send your agents back in and do the job they're supposed to do. This is what the Democrats, they worked with cartels and the world to have the greatest trafficking operation in world history poured into the United States, 1 million. And then they harbor them in these sanctuary cities and then ride, and you can't come pick them up. And blackmail us and saying we're going to shut down the government if you keep arresting criminal illegal aliens in our town. That's insane. Donald Trump has reduced illegal immigration and violent crime century low levels. And the Democrat response is violence and black.
The real reason this is happening, it's about power and numbers. The census is about to strip away electoral votes based on population changes. Trump's already removed 10,000 people from Minneapolis alone. That's basically an entire congressional district gone. When you reduce immigration, you reduce the voter base and the funding streams that flow back into political campaigns. That's why you're seeing this level of desperation.
Blackmail. It is absolute craziness. The government did not work very well last time. Defunding the police did not very well last time. I don't know why I'm doing it, but here's the reason. It's about power. The census is already going to strip away a bunch of electoral votes from the Democrats based on population next time, all right? So they could still win the blue wall and not win the election next time. And Donald has suctioned up 1,000 illegals out of Minneapolis, which basically takes away a congressional district. They're fighting for everything. This is about survival. And you reduce immigration, you reduce the welfare systems that they're able to kick back into political war chests. And the immigrants vote Democrat 2-1. That they're fighting for. That's why it's so violent.
Jessica, what is exactly that Democrats want in order to pass this bill? What is?
So what do Democrats actually want? They want the bill split up into 5 separate sections so they can control exactly where the money goes. They want FEMA funded, TSA funded, even Border Patrol in some cases, but they want their hands on the ICE funding specifically. And it's not just Democrats upset about this. Rand Paul's calling for investigations. Kristi Noem has to testify before the Judiciary Committee on March 3rd. This crosses party lines more than you'd think.
Do they want ICE? They want a bill without any ICE funding. What is it that they want?
Well, they want, and it's a lot of minutiae, but it's split up in the minibus bill, put it essentially 5 separate sections so that you could actually get your hands on money going towards ICE specifically versus parts of DHS that you do want funded because you want funded and you want TSA funded, and in some cases you want Customs or Border Patrol. I don't think the Democrats will be out alone on this. I mean, Rand Paul pointed out, as Dana did well, that a lot of the ICE funding has already gone. There are a lot of Republicans who are very upset with the way ICE is doing their job. Rand Paul has called investigations into this. Kristi will be testifying before the judiciary on March 3rd.
Now we need to talk about what people actually saw this weekend. The arrest of Alex Pretty, Renee Good down on his knees, unarmed. These weren't your typical violent criminal takedowns, and people noticed. Public opinion is shifting. 46% of Americans now say abolish ICE. That's up 20 points since June. You've got target employees who are American citizens getting picked up at work. When the optics look like this, it doesn't matter what the official story is.
Government for 5 weeks?
No. I'm not saying, just saying this idea that it's only Democrats upset about this is preposterous. And just, you're getting violent because you're so upset picking up violent criminals. There will be an investigation. Kaylee is right about that. But what we saw this weekend with Alex Pretty wasn't a violent criminal. That's not what they saw with Renee. That's not what they've seen with over.
The operation to seize this guy from wanted for battery. You're saying true?
That the people
You're not the operation that they were conducting.
People who we are watching and are either untrained doing this job, which is what Brian O'Hara, the Minneapolis police chief, I'm talking about Renee Good for the first one.
Okay, the guy had been in 8 years in ICE.
Well, there is a guy
another 8 years Border Patrol.
who was not armed and was down on his knees. That's what we do know from looking at the video footage. You have 46% of Americans that are saying abolish ICE. That's gone up 20 points since June alone. You have stories like employees who are American citizens getting up while they're at work. It's not.
Want to know how to actually end this? Forget shutting down the government that achieves nothing politically. Obamacare subsidies still haven't passed from the last shutdown. Look at what Democratic hopefuls said afterward. Newsom called it pathetic. Buttigieg said bad deal. Here's the actual solution in sanctuary city jurisdictions. Let local police work with ICE and Border Patrol. Right now, 60% of violent interactions are happening in New York, Minneapolis, and Los Angeles. What do they have in common? Blue jurisdictions that won't let their cops coordinate with federal agents.
What you're saying it is. If they were all bad hombres, would be sitting back and okay with it.
You won't hand them over, Jessica.
So Chuck, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Chuck Schumer wants to, well, let's end it. Here's how you shut down the government. You shut down the government and you lose politically. You achieve nothing. We see what happened with the last government shutdown and nothing. The Obamacare subsidies still passed. So the only thing you achieved is the fools in the Democratic Party getting mad at you. Gavin Newsom calling you pathetic, the deal pathetic. Pete Buttigieg, a deal. J.B. Pritzker, this is not a deal promise. That was the criticism Chuck Schumer and the establishment got. You want to end this now? Do what Donald Trump did. End sanctuary city jurisdictions. CBP and ICE, who I think very highly of the great work that they do, protect children, people who have committed sexual crimes against kids, you are right in that they are trained to handle crowd control. This is where police come in. This is where law enforcement is in. And when you have a sanctuary city jurisdiction that doesn't allow local law to work with ICE, to work with Border Patrol, 60% of violent interactions, 60% have taken place, more than that, in New York City, Minneapolis, Los Angeles. What's the commonality? Blue jurisdictions allow police to work with ICE and Border Patrol in sanctuary jurisdictions. I guarantee you will not see this happen.
Yeah, it's so Title II, Chapter 18 of the Minneapolis Code of Ordinances specifically prohibits